Hey folks, welcome to Thunderpunk Radio. So we're going to go over how to reload your pistol today. So now you've done basic reload drills before, but we're going to start from square one just for the people watching that have no experience whatsoever doing this. So we're not actually going to be doing any shooting today. The drills that we're doing here, we're using something called dummy rounds or snap caps. And the idea behind this is you can get all sorts of training in safely in the comfort and safety of your own home, where you don't have to worry about bullets or any of that jazz. Eventually you're going to need to shoot. But for now, you can develop a lot of skills just by doing dry fire drills, and that's what we're doing today. So, first thing we're going to do for people starting out, remember we have our ready stance. The reason our hands are right here is it's good for defensive, it's good to grab stuff, it's good to do whatever. And also, this area right here is our workspace. Now, some people, more advanced people, they can just leave it out there and reload like that. You want to do that, that's cool. I prefer to bring it in. I think it's smarter. I think you can see more of what's going on. So to start out, I'm going to pull my two magazines out right here. Whoop! And I got snap caps in here. These are dummy rounds. Yep. You got snap caps, dummy rounds. All right. And then we're going to clear our pistols just to triple check. Snap cap. Yep. All right, we're good. Oh, I'll put this back in here. I like that you've been working on your.
You like that?
It shows, man. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take our pistol out, all right? Now, even though we know these are unloaded and they're safe, we're still going to practice the 4 rules of gun safety. So we're going to maintain good muzzle discipline, keep our finger out of the trigger, yada, yada, yada. Go watch our video with John. So we're just going to practice pushing this button right here called the magazine release. Depending upon the type of pistol you have, it might be a little bit different, but most modern day pistols, it's right there. Just do this. So if you have a new firearm and you're not used to doing this, just do this like 10 times. Boop. Now, some of them will drop free, okay? Some of them will not drop free, and you have to strip it. I think it's good to practice both because you don't always know that you're going to be fighting with your own gun. Most modern pistols, they will fall free, but there's a lot of pistols that have like a magazine disconnect spring, and that's because most law enforcement that get shot with their own weapon. And so the idea behind it is if somebody's struggling for their gun and they hit that mag release, then they can't fire a round, even if there's a round in the chamber. Those magazines are more difficult to strip. John is carrying one of my Star BMs that has a magazine disconnect. You got to strip the mag unless you take the spring out. When we put it in, we make sure it's seated so it won't come out. Pop it out, or if we have to, we have our hands right here. When we push it, we strip it out. So depending upon the type of pistol you have, we're just going to do this like 10 times. It might seem kind of boring. And while I'm doing this, I'm being very deliberate. I'm going nice and slow. I'm figuring out what's the best way to put it in there. All right. I'm just getting used to this. Boop. Okay.
There's a question for you. I've seen guys who guide it with their finger that way. Do you find that's helpful?
I don't do that myself. I twist and then put it in. I think that could, if that helps you, I think you should do it. Yeah, I've never done that before. Have you? Like it?
When I've kind of run these myself, I've been doing it, but it doesn't necessarily feel. But you know, I wonder if I'm keeping my eyes down range. You know, I don't know.
That's the thing. Don't.
No.
So like when I load, I look at my weapon system because if somebody's shooting at me and I'm staring at them, well, I don't know what good is it going to do while they're shooting at me if I don't have my weapon up and running. So I want to focus on the task at hand to get this gun up and to shoot. So that's why I'm watching it go into my magazine while I'm making sure. Also, like, we were overseas and somebody pulled a rifle mag out and there was a cigarette butt in it, and I saw it as he put it in. I'm like, ah, wait! And he didn't look at his M4 mag as he put it in, and that could have jammed up his weapon. Like, pull that mag out, pull that mag out. And so, you know, we were training, we weren't in the middle of a firefight, but like still, it was like, what if we were? Yep. You know what I mean? So I like to look at everything while it's happening, and that's again why we bring it into our workspace, or one of the many reasons. Another reason we want to do this in close, or consider doing it this close, is if, like say you have to use this in a self-defense scenario and there's a lot of people around, people are going to be running every which way. If you're reloading out here, somebody could smack your gun, you know, throw you off balance, or you could lose your weapon. So bringing it in means it's less likely something's going to happen to it. You have more control of what's going on, and I can see it right there. So it's, when I pull out, so generally, we like to keep rounds forward. You might have a wrist injury. This is for most people. The reason we do rounds forward is because we can just reach down, pull it out, and then you just twist right in. Now for a while I had a broken wrist and I would carry my mags back here and I would beer can grip it. And so that was easier for me to keep the rounds backwards and then bring it in because my wrist didn't feel comfortable turning in like that.
Right.
So
this side, it's bullets forward, goes right in.
Yep. So for today's drill, you're going to need some equipment. You're going to need an inside the waistband or outside the waistband holster. We're using outside the waistband holsters. You're going to need your pistol and at least 2 magazines. I really think when you get your first firearm, you should start out with 3 pistol magazines, but you need at least 2. You need at least 2. And then some snap caps or dummy rounds. There's a bunch of different kinds out there. Just, talk to your local gun store. They'll hook you up with the right kind. We'll give some information about them at the end of the video. All right, the way we're going to start this drill, we have snap caps, just 1 in each magazine, and we have 1 in here. So we're just going to take this mag out at first, throw it in your pocket. We're going to lock our slide back while it's empty. Okay, so lock your slide back. Then reinsert the magazine. For this mag starting out, it doesn't matter if there's a snap cap in it or not for this drill. Now we're going to keep it locked back and we're going to put it into our holster.
Okay.
Now depending upon the type of holster, for yours, if you notice, you can just pull it out without manipulating this, right? Yeah. And so for practice, you're still going to try to manipulate that, just to get that muscle memory down. So with this is just a friction holster, so I can just pull it out, treat it as normal.
But do my draw as normal.
As normal, yep. And now, the next part of this is we're going to draw, and we're going to pick a target, all right? We're going to get a good sight picture. Now, if you notice, it's a little bit different, right? Because these are closer. But again, you don't know you're always going to be fighting with the same gun, so it's still a good sight picture. It's just a little bit different. So that's actually, I think, better training. So we're going to draw, okay? We're going to find a good sight picture, and then we're going to pull the trigger. Now, it doesn't reset, right? Because the thing's locked back.
Right.
So you don't feel that for this instance. But it's still good training. You're still going through the motion. All right, so I pull the trigger, I shoot, I'm empty. I bring it in. As I bring it in, I'm going to drop the magazine. There we go. And as I'm dropping that magazine, I'm pulling another one out. And I'm just slowly and very deliberately putting it in, making sure it's seated. Then you can either push the slide lock right here. Michael, you want to show them your slide lock?
Slide lock is here. Manipulate it with my thumb. Cool, got it.
All right, so there we go. That's the dummy round. It didn't load right. Okay, so let's do some remedial action. What do we do? Tap, rack, bang. Tap.
Tap. Ah, bam.
Boom. There we go.
I'm back in the fight.
Yep. Okay, so we're out. We're right here. We're going to push forward. We're going to pull the trigger. All right, so now we bring it back in. Okay, this is how we're going to start this drill. You need your pistol, an outside the waistband holster, a mag pouch, and then you want to have snap caps in all of your magazines. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lock our slide back. Okay, now you do have a mag in there, but there's nothing in there, so we're good to go. Now I'm going to insert a magazine, and we're going to start out with the slides locked back, and we're going to put it in the holster. Now you have a level 1 holster, and so some level 1 holsters, if your slide is locked back, this doesn't work, so you can just yank it out. So again, you're just going to manipulate it as if you're doing it. What we're going to do is we're going to draw. We're going to keep the slide locked back, but we're going to find a good sight picture and then pull the trigger. While you don't feel the normal trigger pull, it's still good training. We're still going through the motions. Then we're going to bring the weapon into our workspace. As we bring it in, we're going to hit that mag release. We're going to drop the mag, and as we're doing that, we're very slowly and very deliberately drawing a mag, putting it in, letting the slide ride forward, and then pushing it out again. All right, so let's just walk through it. Okay, so first thing, we're going to do a nice, good draw. We're going to find a good sight picture. We're going to pull the trigger. Nothing's happening. Oh, I must be out. So I bring it in. As I bring it in, boop, I hit that, and I pull this guy out. We're going to insert it, make sure we're nice and good. Now there's a couple ways to do this. We could hit the slide lock right here. You want to show Michael's slide lock?
Okay, I have my slide lock here, manipulated with my right thumb.
Boom. Now that works with a lot of pistols. Some pistols, you want to come over the top, just pull it back and let it go. There's a couple different ways to do that. And then, now that we have a good grip, we're going to bring it forward, and pull the trigger. Then we're going to do our scan. We're going to look around and make sure we're all good to go. Okay, the threats are neutralized. Boom. Okay, that's the first step of the drill. Now we're going to reset. To do that, we just take that back, we leave the mag in there. That's it. We keep a track of where that round went, and then we reholster, and then we get to start over again. Okay, so this time, instead of using the slide lock, Michael's going to demonstrate on how to come over the top, pull the slide back, and then release it to reset the weapon.
Okay, so mag goes in. That's it. Just
There
pull
you
the
go.
slide back. You're back in the fight.
Okay, so again, we're going to use all of this for training. So a good draw, give our hand a home, draw, present, good sight picture, pull the trigger, nothing's happening. So I'm going to bring it in, drop the mag, put a new one in. I watch it, make sure it goes in, let the slide go forward as I'm coming out, boom. Check. See everything, we're good to go. Okay, cool. I'm gonna watch my holster as I reholster. And that's it. And then to reset it, all we do is we just lock the slide back. There we go. And we're ready for round 2. Okay, same thing. And this time just do it at your own pace. Be deliberate, don't have to go super fast. There we go. Now what's nice is on my battle belt I have 4 pistol mag pouches, and I have like 10 pistol mags. So I'll load up like 10, I'll put 2 in my pocket, I'll put 2 here, I'll put 1 in that rifle pouch I have behind it, and I'll just sit and do that, and then you can just keep doing it. And the only thing you have to stop is just you pull this out, you do this, and then you're good to go. So the more mags and the more snap caps you have, the less interruption you have in that series of training. Literally, the only interruption is you pull out, lock your slide back and put it back. Okay, so now this time we're just gonna run through the whole drill. So this will be 2 mag changes. Okay. 2 mag changes total. And again, the more magazines you have, the more snap caps you have. You can start putting them in your pocket, added extra pouches, and then you can just keep going for like a while. All right, so starting out, slide lock back. Okay, so we start with the slide lock back and shooter ready, shooter up. Boop. All right, that's
Slide back.
iteration 1, not yet. So now we're finished. Okay, now pull it out, keep the mag in, lock the slide back, pay attention to where that went. All right, shooter ready, shooter up. Ah. All right, boom, and there we go. And so that way you just keep going and keep going, the more mags you have, and now let's pick these back up. All right, let's say you only have 2 magazines, but you want to run through more iterations like we did with 3 magazines. You can just take your magazine out, put it in your pocket, or put it in and just, okay, I'm gonna launch that. Just start out like this. Now, you're not going to get the magazine falling out, but just going through the motions, pushing the button, pushing the magazine release is still better than not doing it. You're still getting some training in. It's better if the mag is in it when you do it, kind of like when you're doing dry fire drills. Here, I want to put, with a 1911, you want snap caps while you're dry firing. So that feel of the trigger is better to have that. But you don't need it every time. You can still get training even if you don't feel the trigger click every time. So,
is it worthwhile? Is it worthwhile just, you know, here?
Yes. The problem I have with that, so I went through a full day of doing that. I did it for like an hour, and then I taught a class, and then I didn't let my slide go forward in front of students. It was a little embarrassing. It was like the first class I taught in like a month or so, a month or 2, and so it was just like, did you really just do that? And it was because I got that muscle memory down, put it in, boom, put it in, boom. It's kind of like spending too much time on Instagram, and then you go to call someone, but your thumb just instantly goes to that Instagram icon on it's that muscle memory, you know. So yes, I see a lot of people on social media and YouTube doing it that way. That's why I don't do it that way.
Okay.
So
yeah, it makes sense.
All right. So you're ready to go. We're just going to do another iteration here.
I lock the slide back.
I'll tell you, this time I'm going to keep one here. Why don't you take one and put it in your pocket?
All right. That'll work.
Okay. So we're going to do the same thing again and just go through the motions. Obviously, we don't have a mag in, but we're going to pretend that there's one in there, so we're still going to hit that mag release. All right. Shooter ready. Shooter up. Oops, I don't have a mag well on this. Look. All right, I'm going to look at my holster, put it away. All right, round 1. We're going to reset our weapon. all we do is just lock the slide back. Leave the mag in it, lock the slide back. Okay, same thing. Shooter ready, shooter up. Okay. All right, now we're going to reset our weapon. Leave the mag in, just pull the slide back. All right, now remember where that other mag is. Shooter ready, shooter up. Ooh, gotta pull out of the pocket. All right. And that is how you use snap caps to perform reload drills. What'd you think?
Loved it, man. I mean, that's useful, you know, and it's something I need to work, not only, you know, for self-defense, but as an actor, you know. And I'll tell you, like, one of the best things, you know, Phil Winchester from Strike Back. Dude could change a mag. Guy popped corners better than any other actors out there. Now you got like SEAL team and stuff like that. Shows that have a lot of actual military guys working it. But back then, man, Phil was leading the way. It's great stuff.
That's also why I think editors, cinematographers, and directors should get firearms training if they're going to do an action movie. Like, you know, MJ's been to the range, you know, a bunch. But like, so what was that? The latest Aliens versus, you know, movie with oh god darn it,
Tomorrow's War.
Tomorrow's War. In Tomorrow's War, they actually filmed reloads, but they didn't make the edit.
It's ridiculous.
I know, and so like if the editor knows about shooting, they'll know how cool actually filming a reload is, and also how important it is, because a bullet can't hold, like, or a gun can't hold 1,000,000 bullets. You know what I mean?
Well, that's people talk about that forever. Like, you know, Terminator, Stallone, never reloaded.
Yeah,
but
Commando is like, I guess, the big one. You know.
But also, as far as story goes, your actor or your character is in peril when they're reloading. They're you know, practically helpless. I think it adds tension. So why not put it in?
So everyone, basically, of sound mind and heart should get firearms training, especially editors and writers and the cinematographers. But yeah, folks, that's a real basic drill that you can do at home, and in the comfort and safety of your own home. You don't have to deal with any bullets. And if you do this stuff before going to a class, we do 100% recommend getting professional training and taking classes. But if you do this stuff ahead of time, you're going to get so much more out of that class, because you're not going to feel as awkward. You're going to know, you know, everything that you're doing, and then you're just going to have that added danger element of using live rounds. So, okay, John, are you ready?
No, but let's do this thing.
Let's do it anyways. Great attitude. Okay, so we're going to be doing a two-handed reload. Okay.
Yeah.
So just by the numbers, and again, be deliberate, and you know, go slow as you want. We're going to. Now you already have snap caps loaded in your magazines. Where's your spare magazine?
I've got one here and two here.
Okay, so let's flip this one around.
Okay.
So John doesn't have any mag pouches yet, but we're going to fix this situation by the next time he trains with us. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out, we're going to pull our pistol out, and we're going to lock the slide back, all right? Cool. And it's probably, if you have one chambered, it's going to drop it. If you don't, remember, you got to, there we go. Now lock the slide back. So you want to take your thumb and push up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that has a mag. Oh, that's why, because it changed. That's why I didn't do it. Okay, cool. So now put it back in your holster.
Yeah.
All right. Now John has a concealed carry holster, and it's a leather holster right now. So he definitely has to look at his holster every time he puts it in, so this soft leather doesn't accidentally pull his trigger. Now what's nice is this does have a manual safety. It's a Star Model BM. It's very similar to the 1911. All right, so we're going to go by the numbers, all right? You have a nice, good fighting stance there. Michael and I, we're not doing that. We're just doing normal isosceles. All right, so number one, give your hand a home. And put your hand on that pistol. Get that back straight. Good. Okay, number two, we're going to draw back here. Present towards the threat. Where's your threat? Okay, we're going over here. All right, now three, come up at a 45-degree angle. Give that good grip. How's your grip doing? That looks pretty good. That's not too bad. Move that thing. Oh, okay, that looks good. All right, now push that forward. Get a good sight picture. Once you have a good sight picture, pull that trigger. All right, nothing's happening. So we're going to bring it in. Try not to flag the dog. Now, as we bring it in, we're going to take our thumb. Get your finger out of that trigger well. There we go. Take your thumb. Hit that mag release. Boom! There we go. So, yep, there you go. Grab it. Watch it as it goes in. There we go. Now use your thumb and hit that lock, that slide lock right there. There you go. And we're going to push forward. All right, now once you have your good sight picture, pull the trigger. Okay, we're gonna bring it in. It's not flag Ulfi. We're gonna look. All right, we're gonna.
Don't flag your
look.
cameraman.
Yeah.
We're gonna tangle up in the leash. All right, so now look the other way to make sure your other side's good. So you want a 360, John.
360.
That works. All right, and then look at your holster, reholster. How'd that feel?
Good. A little rough, and I'm pretty sure I accidentally flagged Michael. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
We live and learn, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do it again. Now, where's your other magazine?
Right here.
Okay, why don't you put that where it's easy to get at? You got a flap right there. You got a flap right there with these cool tactical pants.
Gonna go higher up here.
Okay, perfect. All right, now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our weapons ready to go. So we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna leave this magazine in, but we're gonna rack the slide back. Now, two things are gonna happen. That dummy round we have in there is gonna fall into the ground.
Yeah.
But also, if this works well, the last round hold open, the follower in that magazine will hold that slide back for us. Okay, so there you go.
All right.
Now, you were almost reaching across to do it with your hand on this way, and that's something that I probably should have done in the reload drill. We'll have to film something about that to insert into there. There's a couple different ways to do that. You can use your support hand to lock it down, okay? And in certain guns like the Beretta 92, it's really good to do that with. I like to use this hand because then it's the same thing every time, and if I have to shoot one-handed, which I've had to before, then you're already ready to go. Okay, so all right, so now we're gonna reholster. So we're ready to go. Shooter ready. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3. No, now we're already 4. I moved this ahead. Okay, 5. Pull the trigger. Nothing's happening. So as I bring this in, I'm reaching down with my hand. The ice, nice. There we go. You pull it out. Now I look. You want to look at your gun. Yep, as you put it in there. Boom. All right. Drop that. Present forward. There we go. Good job. How's that grip look? Now take this hand, put it up higher. There we go. Present. Shoot. All right. Now we're going to look one way, look the other way, and if you want to step around, you can too. Okay. And then holster your gun. There we go. And now you can do that at home.
Right.
How'd that feel?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I have practice to do. For sure.
And I don't know, I never know how to end these things. So we'll
Well,
leave it
hey.
to you, Michael.
Yeah, mash that like button, subscribe, tell your friends all about Thunderpunk Radio.
There we go.
We'll see you in the next video.
It's always on camera that I screw. You know, on the Gameology video recently, I said a Star Wars replicator. And I'm the guy with all the expanded universe Star Wars novels.
You're breaking my heart, man.
Yeah, I know, man. I just gave our camera guy like Star Trek Christmas ornaments.